ParaWorks is a new way for drivers to find high-paying job opportunities. You can claim these job offers to stack with your platform work and make your workday much more efficient and profitable. By uploading your gig work history and creating a ParaWorks profile, you'll unlock access to better, higher-paying driving gigs in your area. When a Para partner tells us they need drivers, we make sure you're the right person for the job, then notify you immediately. If you like it, it's yours. Your work history is your resume. Make it work for you.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How are you doing? Good Tuesday evening. Yeah, I hope you're all well. I love doing these. They seem to just happen randomly. We don't have any kind of system, but I love having Lou and Mary on. And this time, maybe another time too, we called it the Long Island, or I named it the Long Island Rodeo Experience. This time I tried to make it really prominent that that's what it was, just because I think it's funny. And I know we get some crossover.
It works out. It works perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many rodeos are on Long Island?
I don't know. Do you guys even get rodeos? Have you ever been to
probably
a rodeo?
not.
Don't
Probably
think
not.
so. Upstate they do.
This must be clickbait. What a clickbaity title.
Yeah. But you've never even been to one in your life.
No.
Yeah, you don't get them. You guys don't have a spot for not only just the rodeo, but all that comes with a rodeo.
Yeah, the closest thing I feel like we've been to is like medieval times because there were horses.
Yeah.
But like you guys have even told me how just cramped that area is. Like, where would you put a rodeo? That's what I don't even know what your area looks like. But just from you guys, I know that it's. But thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Lou and Mary.
And the cat.
Don't mind the cat. The cat is like being very
very affectionate
wants,
right now.
wants to be part of the show.
And the Long Island Experience cat, of course.
Yes.
I got my dog, but he's over here sleeping. What's up, Kevin and Zach? Hey, what's up, JP and Gary Middleton and Christopher Taylor? How are you guys doing? So we're going to talk about a few things here tonight, just because every once in a while we get together and we do things. And I just want to know what you guys are thinking about this, because you guys know we still do the Para Roundtable or the Para Presents.
Mm-hmm.
And last night we did one that will go live on Thursday about DoorDash. And it was specific to different topics of DoorDash. But one thing that I said, we had Joe from, I think you guys are familiar with Let's Play DoorDash.
Yeah. I've seen him. Mm-hmm.
So he's from my home state. He lives in Detroit. He has a full-time W-2 and he works part-time doing DoorDash.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, you guys can kind of relate to that. When I talk to full-time and part-time workers, which I talk to a ton because of the audio podcast. So I talk to, like literally, whether it be email or whatnot, but even talk to, I'm now noticing something that maybe I never put together, or I don't think it was as noticeable. But I honestly believe that not only do I know the fact that part-time workers don't really pay attention to YouTube channels and how can I make $1 more? How can I trim this? How can I trim that? Because they're just like, look, I just do this 2 nights a week to earn some extra cash. I don't really care. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to put any more time I work full-time at a W-2. I get that. Mm-hmm. But I'm starting to see that the people who do, and I'm not saying that this needs to be the solution, but the people who, there's some really wrong things going on with these apps, but the people who do this part-time are definitely 100 times happier than the people who do this full-time.
I honestly can probably.
Well, our friend does it full-time.
He does it full-time.
Mm-hmm. There are days where he's like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
It's very frustrated.
So we have a buddy of ours, and he texts me. Actually, I haven't heard from him in a couple of days. But he'll text me throughout the day with like updates on how his day is going, and he does about 40 to 45 hours a week. Generally goes out like first thing in the morning. So usually 6, but some days he pulls in like 12-hour days. He's grinding hard, and he gives me updates throughout the day. And I was thinking for myself, like, is this something that I would want to do full time? And it seems like there's, I like to use the word variance. There may be a little bit too much variance in it for me personally, to where it's like, okay, I can I can make my money, you know, you too, we can make our 9-to-5 money that we know is good, stable money, and then still have extra money. So it becomes that like that thought of like, okay, time, freedom, okay, is good, but you don't really have all that time and freedom. Yeah, you have time and freedom because of the fact that, like, okay, you don't have to tell your boss, okay, I need to now take
right.
this
You can
time off.
designate your time, and
But you also don't have paid vacation. You don't have paid sick leave. So if you want
to do in Seattle now in Washington State.
Yeah, very minor area. You know, here that's not going to happen. And the cost of living here is so high to begin with. I can't imagine, you know, unless you have really banked away. I think here in New York, you probably need to bank away minimum 6 months to be able to survive if you're not working. Survive. And, you know, I know my buddy, he even doing this, you know, he's had to dip into savings for grocery money and things like that. So it's I think it's difficult. So you have to weigh the balance. Do you want to do this part-time for extra money? And you know, who doesn't want extra money to do like whatever they may want to do with it, you know, or grind it out. I don't think there's any right or wrong. It's all preference. And, you know, we were talking about this earlier today. Us being, you know, in the age that we are. I was gonna say, but you know, maybe you know, us being the age that we are.
We're not old, you guys, at all.
We're not old. We may have like college kids, but like we're actually on the younger side of that. We had them young. Us being the age that we are and doing what we've been doing, you know, for over 20 years, we're used to this. We're used to this life. And anytime I think of the possibility of leaving this type of life for independent contracting, for doing my own thing, either being gig work, even YouTube, you know, it's a little bit scary. So many unknowns. And then I ask myself, and I know you question it a lot too, is the grass greener on the other side? There's no way to really know. There's so much risk when you have something that's so stable. You know what I mean? So like that, you know, that you've had experience and that you've built you've built a career, you've built a reputation to like throw that away. That being said, younger people, I would recommend to any younger person, don't get a W-2.
Yeah.
But start off as an independent contractor and make money from yourself from the get-go. Like we're old, you know, like we're old school at this point now. Yeah. We've been doing it for so long, the way we've been doing it.
There's no going back.
It's scary. It honestly, it scares me, you know, especially our situation with 3 kids, 2 of them in college, paying car loans, you know, all the amount of expenses that we have for having the kids here, living on Long Island, you know, someplace that we've made a decision, like we don't want to go anywhere. We enjoy it. And we're still on cash tonight. You know, it's you know.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean,
by the way, I just want to give a quick shout out to Zach Drives Fast. Not that he needs a shout out, but because he's amazing. But I'm gonna give him a shout out anyway, because you know, I don't get to watch much content these days. But Zach Drives Fast. I go to your page because I really, really love I love your voice. B, I love your videos and the grit that you bring to them. I love your editing. I'm you know, as a fellow YouTuber, I'm always looking at editing. I like to watch people's editing, and I really, really love your editing. You're doing such a fantastic job. And from where your channel was to where it is now, it's simply fantastic. So I just wanted to just
yeah, Zach's a good friend.
I can sleep on Zach's couch tonight.
Yeah. That's a long way away from you, man. That almost couldn't be farther. But yeah, I agree. Zach does a great job. But okay, well, here's what when you said don't get a W-2, this is kind of what I feel too, is that you guys and Joe, like I was talking about, Let's Play DoorDash, who has another W-2 as well. He loves his W-2. He's stoked to have it. He thinks, dude, this is my dream job. And then he does
Mhm.
DoorDash too, and he calls it "Let's Play DoorDash" because he says "Let's play the game" whenever he starts a video.
Right.
which I love. I love the fact that he turns it into a game.
Mhm.
Yep, but because it's not turning it into it is a game.
Well, really, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, it really is. I mean, even like we've even said before, like that for us, it was almost like a video game.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
Yeah.
and that's where the whole goal thing comes in. It's almost like that aspect of it.
Yeah.
Like a
What,
video
what did
game.
somebody say in one of the comments? Like, food delivery is not a game. It's like, well,
I know,
for
yeah.
us it is.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of like a game because we're trying to rack up the highest score for the night.
Right.
But like, okay, so with you guys, I've talked to you guys enough to know that both of you like your jobs, but that at some point you have other things you want to do, and you're not.
Right.
I don't think you're like Joe. Like he's like almost like lives for this job. He's like, I can't believe I
Mhm.
have this job. Almost, he
Mhm.
feels like blessed by it. But what I would say to not okay, so your situation is different than his, but you have a W-2 you've been in for a while. So
Mhm.
like you have that, and and it's safety. His he loves and it's safety, but I would tell people like going, okay, this gig economy isn't working, and it really might not be for you, but
Mhm.
I would say don't expect the W-2 world to fix it. That's kind of my advice, because like if you have to re-enter the W-2 world and right now go find a job, how secure is that job? Because you, like I was saying, you guys are in a different position.
Right.
Right.
Well, yeah, I see, and I feel like that's a reason why I would recommend to young people and to anybody who doesn't have to. If you don't have a career, then start your own. A few months back, I was doing some research and I watched a video about self-made millionaires. And I was been thinking about these houses that we go and deliver to. And I've told this to Mary hundreds of times, these huge houses that we deliver to. And I said, none of these people who live in these gigantic houses did this sitting in a cubicle. They did it because they took risk. And, as Pedro loves to say, they bet on themselves. And now they have employees working under them, or they've built something. The video I watched, which I really loved, was they solved other people's problems by doing it themselves and not working for the man, but it takes guts and it takes skill, and it takes the ability to have to fail
But not everyone is a leader. Not everyone.
Not everybody is. No,
Yeah.
not everybody. It's there's this. It's almost like what 1%, 2%, 3% that can actually really do that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not easy to do. It takes a lot of guts, and I think doing it young is and not getting because we know the W-2 system is a trappy system. We know it.
Right.
It's not a good system, but it's a system that's been around for like over a century. I would always recommend to young people, if you cannot go that route, don't go that route. Start your own business, do your own thing, be your own boss, have your own employees.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, an example of that too is Celeste, who I've had on the show, who started a dumpling because she did Instacart forever. Every time I say you're in Atlantic City, she's like, quit saying that. I'm south of Atlantic City. And she like names her town like I'm dissing on her. I'm not dissing on her. I just,
if you're saying she's from Atlantic City, you are dissing on her.
Okay, I guess I don't know that then. I did.
It's terrible.
But she did so well starting the dumpling that now she's actually converted that into a company. She has like 3 or 4 employees.
Okay, great. Yeah.
She goes to like city council meetings. She's tied in with like restaurant groups and things like that. And she's really like said she's gone from Instacart orders to dumpling. And I'm not saying everybody can do it through dumpling, but and then just crushed it in her area with dumpling, and then realized I can even be bigger than this.
Right.
Which is great.
So now
That's
she has
fantastic.
employees. Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually she went that route. She didn't stick with the freelancer way. She said, no, I'll have employees who want to work for me.
I think ultimately that should be everybody's goal, is to eventually be able to delegate to other people. to make enough money to have enough work that now you're at the point where you can delegate to others and pay others to do the I should say like the lesser work, but like some of the stuff that maybe you just don't want to do anymore, that you don't want to do anymore.
Right. It's not even the lesser work, because I mean, let's be honest, like
the busy, like the stuff that maybe other people could even do better, like can do better than you.
Yeah, like I would point out, like you, Zach, or Hannibal, you guys all could edit the crap out of a video that would take me 10 hours to edit, and it wouldn't look a tenth as good as any of yours.
Thank you.
But I mean, but I would sit there for 10 hours. I'd get it done. I'd be like, Lou, what do you think of this? And it'd be like a B compared to your A, maybe. I don't even know. A C? I don't know. But I feel like I put out so much content. I just haven't been able to put that time in. But like you said, like if I ever got to a point where all of it needs to be chopped up and made into smaller videos, I would outsource that in a second.
Right.
I wouldn't do it myself. I'd be like, yo, just take everything.
And there are plenty of, we just talk about gig work, but there are plenty of independent contract. I mean, just look at the different apps and Fiverr and things like that, that we don't really talk about them because we talk more about gig work. But I mean, those are gig workers too. They may not be delivering food or ride share, but those are gig workers too.
That is a good point. For young person entering the workforce, W-2 does teach them structure, which they do need that, because a lot, like I see kids coming into to work at the doctor's office, and they have no discipline. They have no you're supposed to be here at this time. They show up 5-10 minutes late. They don't understand that how the workforce actually is supposed to function.
Yeah. And I wonder where does that where does that begin? Where does that attitude begin?
I don't know if it's the attitude of the generation or if it's just
and I'm not putting everything on this. Look, we can all agree the pandemic did not help.
No.
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean, that was a major, like for me, like my son, luckily he went into the workforce. He's at work right now, he'll be home in a minute, but he has a W-2. He went out and got that on his own. I didn't say he had to. He wanted to, and he didn't want to work in the food industry like his friends. So he's a lifeguard.
Yeah.
And so he decided he wanted to do that. I'm glad he did that, but he even understands the candy ass generation. Like we've talked about that. He understands that. He even knows people that he's like, dude, I know some people that would just blow your mind on how privileged they are.
Right.
And it becomes like it's pretty much like laziness,
Yeah.
So I actually would say, and I think you guys maybe you'll agree with me on this. Being a full-time parent all the time, I mean, how do we not put some of it on the parents?
Oh, well, yeah, of course.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know how that
parents' work ethic is number one.
And in there, I don't know where it was lost. Like, because I feel like my generation, your generation, I feel like we were, we all knew to work.
Yeah. And I started working when I was 14 years old.
Right. That wasn't really a question. That wasn't even a question. You just started working.
Right. Yeah. And the same thing like our girls, both of our, we didn't tell either one of them to get jobs.
They wanted jobs.
They were just like, I just applied.
Yeah.
I just applied. And now, and actually it was funny because both of them then eventually started driving for DoorDash. They didn't tell us. We just found out.
Well, because they wanted money too, and they watched you guys have a good work ethic.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I guess my question is, like, are just too many parents just going, what? Because like, I really hate to say this. I've drove up to Max's school, and there are nicer cars in the student parking lot than mine.
Mm-hmm.
How's that?
In the student parking lot,
happen? How's that even happen?
Right.
Yeah.
Why is there a 16, 17-year-old with a nicer car than mine?
Right. Mm-hmm. And those are the kids that are not going.
I mean, like really, my first car was a what was it? An 84 Chevy Chevette.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys remember those hatchbacks.
Yep.
I think it was like, and it was a 4-speed. I think I got it for like $700. Like, I had that thing for like 8 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or 7 years. Like, dude, nobody bought me a Corvette.
Yep.
In fact, they would have laughed at me if I would have said that. I don't even know if they would have laughed. They would have just thought that's not even a funny joke. Steve, come be clever. Like, I mean, I guess that's where I don't know where we failed our kids, but it seems like I'm watching even like my son's people his age have the privilege. So that means people who are my age or maybe a little younger or whatever are just doing this. I just don't know where it came from. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know either.
So-
like we never overindulged our children, but
Never.
but they're not, they don't feel very entitled about everything, but there are some things that they're like expect.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but
I mean-
we never instilled that in them. Like,
Yeah,
it's just
like-
like where did it come
Like
from?
our one main
It-
thing for them is like we want to make sure they can eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if it has to do with social media and all these different influencers and
That probably has a lot
Yeah.
to do with it for sure. TikTok and these
they listen to them more than their parents.
they do 60-minute videos have a lot more influence than an actual conversation.
Yeah, 60 seconds.
60 seconds, yeah.
don't give them the credit they don't deserve.
Yeah, 60 minutes.
60 minutes.
Yeah, I looked at our age demographic. It's not 16, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, no, it's not. But yeah, I don't even know how we segued into the kids.
Yeah.
This is what always happens.
I know.
You gave a whole entire list of things for us to talk
know.
about. We're going to talk about maybe one of them.
No, we're gonna go right now. I'm gonna just kind of hard segue, like breaks. But yeah, I mean, I was interested in that too because I noticed it too, and I think that I guess it speaks volumes for my kid not being that way. I don't know how he acts around his friends when I'm not around, and I never will.
Right.
But at least around me, he has a respect that is real. He gets it.
Yeah.
He gets not
Exactly.
everybody was dropped millions of dollars a day.
Right.
Like he understands I work very hard, and
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's because you've done a good job. You've done a
Yeah.
good job
Yeah.
of showing it.
yeah. So I don't know. Again, I don't know
Leading by
around
example.
some of the friends and stuff, but
Yeah.
like Zach, I know like Zach. That's probably one of the. I mean, we're good friends outside of this, but he just put. I saw him say hit that like button, which I appreciate. But Zach's a single dad too, full time, just like me.
Mhm.
So it's it's a chore, you guys. I know that a lot of us are parents, but it's a chore, and hopefully nobody out there that we know or anybody in this chat are allowing privileged BS. But I doubt any gig workers are.
I doubt. My guess is everybody who is here in this chat is not that person.
No.
Yeah,
Because everybody
no.
who is here in this chat and is watching your channel is grinding.
Yeah,
Either
exactly.
full-time or part. And just because you're part-time, just because we're part-time doesn't mean we're not grinding.
Right.
Just because we're not out there like 7 days a week doing the gig work doesn't mean we're not grinding. It's just part of the life grind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I see some other people coming in. Hey, what's up? What's up, Daphne? I haven't seen you in a while. What's up, Tammy
Daphne.
Driven Dad? What's up, Carrie? Hey, Tommy.
I got to give Daphne a woohoo. How do that for Daphne?
Gotta say hi to this guy. He's down in Miami. That's not his name. It's just, or if it is, he at least I don't know. He's presented himself with a much easier name. I don't know why he does that. But yeah, and hi to everybody else. I think I said hi to everybody. But so okay, the DoorDash TOS update. Here's one thing I wanted to ask you guys about. I know the interface has changed. I don't know if you've been on since then.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Nobody reads the TOS. So we went through this one because they got rid of sections. So I really wanted to know what happened. Why did it go from 21 to 15 sections?
Yeah.
And then there's language changes that literally like this that say, another subtle change, no longer a deactivation policy. It's the service provider platform access policy. Now, that might not mean anything to some people, but to me, it means a lot because here in Colorado, and we'll get to it in a second, there's some major changes going on and a bill being pushed pretty hard that actually I'm for. And normally I'm not for this stuff, but that I'm for, and we will go through that. But what have you got? What do you got? Did you guys read the TOS update or?
I did not, because
I didn't
like most drivers,
You needed to turn on.
I needed
Yeah,
to turn on. I
yeah,
had a
it's
couple
like-
hours I was going out, and I couldn't sit there now and not make the money that I
Right.
wanted to make for that 2 hours I was going out when it
Yeah.
popped up.
Mhm.
So I was just like, all right, whatever is in there, and hope for the best, because to sit there, because first of all, to sit there, because they're never going to tell you exactly what changes there.
Right.
There was one time they kind of told you, but other than that, you got to get the old terms of service and sit there and sift through back and forth.
Compare.
And not only that, you need to also be a lawyer, which
And have your magnifying glass.
yeah, exactly, to try and sift through all the words that at the end of the day, the thing is with all these terms of service, just like with me in insurance, people ask all the time, oh, can you tell me what this means in this insurance policy? I said, no, I can't, because at the end of the day, a court is going to interpret it however they even in terms of service. In the end of the day, if it ends up going to a court is going to interpret that however the court decides to interpret that. And that's even with something of terms of service, if it ever came to that point. And when a terms of service has so much gray area, like I'm sure these terms of service have, then it's so easy for them just to say, well, it's in the terms of service, but I don't really even know what the hell that even means. Like you just like you showed, taking away the words deactivation policy. Well, now what does that even mean? DoorDash knows, but a court may even interpret that differently if somebody ended up suing DoorDash.
I think that they're aligning for some of these changes, and they're cleaning up the language to try and better fit some of this stuff, because they're getting pretty slammed right now. I mean, here in Colorado, I don't know if you guys know about all these other bills, but we got, now a bunch of them are going through. Seattle just passed like we were talking about earlier, they passed the you get time off, you get family leave, you can go take care of sick family. Okay, guys, I need to tell you something that, whether you know it or not, never, ever, 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 ever in the existence of independent contractorship has this existed. So there's no I hate to burst a bubble, but there's no reason that should be on the table, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And who's paying for that? Is it
so the meeting every time from the, I don't know, you saw about their pay raise. They're getting really good pay now there. So I'm not bagging on it. I always feel like, we were just talking about this over on Kim's, but once you open the door to legislation, it's fine if we need to define something, but once you crack that door for legislation, you better have some really, and I know everybody wants to say everybody in politics is a scumbag. I don't fully disagree, but you better have some powerful people on both sides who work together, because once you open it to even the first policy, that door remains open forever. They've got away with it till now. Now they're just straight up fighting. And so it's kind of like, like Connecticut, North Carolina, Minnesota, Massachusetts. And Connecticut's is a very strange one. Connecticut, I think, is going to be the test state. We thought Massachusetts was it. I don't know if you know this, but Connecticut wants to give every gig worker for active time, delivery, shopping, and rideshare. They want to guarantee that on every active hour they work, that they are paid $36 an hour, and that they get $1.30 a mile.
What?
So hang on for a second. So if I'm doing
$1.30 a mile, geez.
I'm doing, and that applies to shopping and delivery too. But if I'm doing rideshare,
smoking something.
If I'm doing rideshare and I'm taking somebody to the airport, and it's 70 miles away, right? I'm going to get $36 for that active hour. Plus, I would get $1.30 on the 70. So what? About another 100?
Yeah.
So I'm going to get $136 for that hour. I'm not being paid. I'm now being paid as a doctor.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, that's crazy.
And here's the other kicker. Here's the craziest thing about it. They have the votes on both sides easy. Like this thing looks like to have the muscle to go. But I mean, it's like,
there's no way it's not going to kill gig work.
Right.
They're going to go out of business.
I think it's a step to employment. Like, I think it's their harsh reality, and because nobody wants to move to union. They want to have some in between. Like, we gave you a chance. This just didn't work for the gig companies couldn't pay you. But here's my qualm with it, is that the minimum, the federal minimum wage is what, $7.40 or whatever it is, $7.50.
Right.
And nobody uses that. I mean, maybe there might be
Yeah.
one or two states pretty low, but Connecticut's minimum wage is $10.45. So where did they come up with 350% minimum wage plus the mileage?
Yeah,
for
like,
gig
what-
workers.
Crazy.
I'm trying to understand what
I could understand if they do minimum
what the
wage.
reasoning, yeah, what the reasoning is.
And then why would anyone not want to do gig work?
right?
So
and
that's what everybody
does it
said
do-
to me was,
right. And then
I'll
what does
just
it do
move.
to
I'll just
every other
move up.
job?
I'll just move up there.
Right. Then everyone's
Well,
quitting their job, their W-2.
Yeah,
and
what
they're
is
like,
what does that do
into
to every other job? Exactly.
But then here's the thing. So
But then it's
if
gonna be so
but,
saturated.
Yeah.
that's what Ron, I had Ron on earlier this week, and Ron Entree Courier said to me is he goes, well, my only thought to that would be like, good luck getting an active half hour for every 6 hours you work.
Right.
Yeah,
like-
exactly.
that's
He's
yeah,
like,
yep.
because they're not going to have the business because they're going to have to charge 4 times as much to the customers.
Right. There's going to be like 2
Right.
people in each county.
Yeah, right.
So that kind of legislation, that's what gets press. That's what people want to see. And the Colorado made some press, but like it didn't make the press it should have because it's not asking for any money. So our Senate bill is Senate Bill SB 23-098. And that's Stephanie V. Hill's project. Now, I'm always worried that there's trap doors, that there's back deal handshakes being made about, hey, after this goes, you're going to give us one back, right? I'm hoping that isn't the case and that this is a standalone bill with nothing behind it. In that instance, I absolutely support this because all they're asking for here from DoorDash is that DoorDash be 100% transparent to the drivers or all the gigs. They're 100% transparent and that they're showing you everything up front. They're not holding acceptance rate against you. These are things I've fought for, so I believe this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the other big portion of this is that and they also want to show they want the customers to see the breakdown of what they're paying. That's in the bill too. So they want the customers to see how much is not going to the drivers.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I mean, let's face it, everybody who is like, oh, I don't need to. I mean, a lot of people are like literally like, I don't need to tip you. Look how much I paid. You're getting a lot of money already. They don't understand that we don't get that money.
Right.
Somebody left a comment which kind of gave me a little like interesting aha moment when I was just thinking about this too. Is in theory, really the customer is paying everything, aren't they? Because if a base pay for DoorDash is $2.50 or $3 like it is here, and the customer is still paying those fees, then the customer actually is really paying the base pay.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Yeah,
But they're
and then some.
In theory, right. And,
right. They're a lot more than what the driver is getting though.
right. And then the company is then obviously making a lot more money because
Right,
it's really
exactly.
the customer who is paying us. They don't know it, but they are.
Right. The customer is paying like $15 in fees and upcharges, but we're only getting $2.50 or $3 or whatever it is.
Right. And that's what they
company's
want you to
still
see.
making.
They want you
And
to, and in fact, part of it's because they also want you to see how much you're being upcharged from the restaurant.
Right.
Since that's not broke down on a line item.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They want you to see like,
They don't know.
spent $30
They know.
at this restaurant. I go there all the time, and the same thing cost me $20. You're not doing that math yet, but you might start seeing that and going, "What?" And then you see
Right,
a driver
exactly.
paid $2, processing 10,
Right.
service 10,
Yeah.
and you'd be like, "Wait, what?"
Mhm.
So
Well, we
the
do
hope
that
is to
constantly.
get everything in line and let everybody be transparent. The other side of the bill is that if you're deactivated, you have the right to appeal it.
Yeah. Yeah, but we do that all the time. Like if we're ordering something, we'll go on the different apps to see how much it is, and then most of the time we'll just go directly to the store and just order it through the store because
it's just
the upcharges are ridiculous.
Yeah, and then I
Oh,
go
yeah.
pick it up myself.
Yeah, we've seen the
We've
fleets
stopped using the
of
apps
Kroger
actually.
the Kroger delivery trucks are here now in fleets. Like I made a community post that said buy Instacart. It was like 4 of them lined up at docking bays. They're big too. They're like 26 footers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, with
I
the
mean,
Instacart, they're like you're not allowed to give the receipt because they don't want the customer seeing the receipt
Oh my God. Yeah, we got to tell them. We did a order on Instacart on Sunday. It was picking up at Michael's, and the Instacart app specifically said,
"Oh yeah,
do not tell the customer that you are with Instacart."
Yeah. It's like, what do they think that it's a Michael's
what do
employee?
they think?
Like,
I work from Michael's. Don't. It specifically said, do not tell the customer that you are doing this for Instacart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, so just so you guys are aware, here's the email, by the way, that we got from DoorDash, because just so you know, on this bill, DoorDash has been doing non-robocalls, human calls to all Colorado drivers saying, hey, if you don't hit this button, and they've got a button in the email too that allows you to just connect with your representative, because they're like, if you don't oppose this bill, you're going to lose it. So here's the email that came through. So the Colorado Senate is considering a bill that would impose another tax on top of last year's first in the nation delivery tax. With consumers already facing skyrocketing inflation, the bill would raise the cost of deliveries, making it more expensive to access everyday items and food. This added fee would also lead to fewer customers or fewer orders for restaurants, hurting Colorado businesses, and lead to fewer earning opportunities for Dashers and other app-based delivery workers. Take action now to protect Colorado consumers, small business, and Dashers by telling lawmakers to oppose Senate Bill 98, which is actually 23-098. But and then it just lets you click it right from there to add your name to their list.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're taking this more serious than any other state, even Connecticut. Like with Connecticut, it's like, it's probably going to happen, and then we'll just see what the companies do. Will they just leave the state? I don't know, or whatever. But with this one, they're actually scared.
I think they probably should be, because there's going to definitely become a point where the customer is going to not use the apps, and at the end of the day, that it just seems like, but just going back to the whole entire full-time part-time thing, like it's really it's hurting it's hurting everybody. All this is just hurting everybody and taking what was a good thing for everybody and taking taking it away.
Well, I think also, like, the pandemic, it helped gig work because no one wanted to go out, and gig workers were like, okay. But now that it's not happening anymore, and people are maybe getting wiser to all the upcharges, that things are going to start slowing down. And if things are more transparent, people are definitely not going to be buying stuff online.
I know that if I think about things like Ticketmaster, for example. If I know, like, what I'm paying for isn't going towards the good that I want, then I'm not gonna do it. So it's going to, like, literally hurt. It's going to hurt the businesses. It's going to hurt the independent contractors. It's going to, who wins?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that this bill is actually one that, again, if there's no trapdoors, if there's no hidden agendas, I'm all for it. Because I think this one would be a good slap to the gig economy to see how they react to that. Like, okay, they didn't ask for any money, but damn it, they're asking for the secret sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
or that we now have to show.
But when they show, like, what is it? Like, what is it? What's the end game? What's the hope?
Here's how I put it. Look, David from Para and I talk about, this is how we even came to know each other so well. It was transparency. So if you show me everything on all these apps, mileage, where I'm picking up, where I'm dropping off, pay, everything I need to know, everything. And I see the snapshot and I decide to accept it or not. If you're not holding acceptance rate against me and you're just showing me every detail I need on every offer, I can never, ever be mad at the gig apps again. I can't. I can choose to not work them. but anybody in this country should have the right to run their business into the ground if that's what they want.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, seriously, the more businesses go out of business than succeed. So, I mean, that's just a right you have in America. You have the right to start a business and run it into the ground.
But I mean, we're talking about being transparent with the customer. It all starts with the customer. So
I think the hope there is it's like hitting them from both sides. Like, okay, we're going to show the drivers everything. Nobody's going to take them, because now they're not going to like, or they're not going to like them as much. And then with the customer side, I think they're thinking, okay, maybe you want to change your processing fee. So you don't show that you're taking $20 to run their credit card.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, okay, that's the hope, is that the companies now reduce their fees.
I think it's just like, no, it's fine if that's what you want to do, but you guys have never been honest. So,
right.
I mean, look,
and then you leave it up to the customer if they want to pay those fees.
And the customer, and some customers will, majority now will will stop using the apps.
And some will not. Some are.
Well,
some won't care.
One thing that maybe could happen is at least, would it at least? Here's one thing. So, if you read, when I was reading the DoorDash email, it said this is going to hurt Colorado restaurants. Like, really? Because as I see it, you're not going to want to lose their business. So, first step would be start using in shop pricing, because now people will notice that.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, maybe you don't need to change your service or your processing fee, but you need to now move to in-store pricing.
Right, but they charge the
restaurant.
They charge the restaurant to be on their platform.
So now they're gonna have to charge the restaurants less as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's another, that's another aspect of it that we're not even talking about, is the fact that the restaurant and app relationship as well. So it has to, it can't just even be the customer. It's going to have to be basically complete restructuring of everything.
Right. But basically saying, hey, listen, let's kind of redo this. But this time, if you could just be honest, that would be cool.
And and all of them are going to have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the apps going to have to do it.
Yep. Yeah, it's just DoorDash that's really going crazy here right now. Like they're calling, they've called my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we've noticed Uber,
because they're gonna lose money.
Well, Uber here has been very transparent. I don't think we've had a hidden.
Yeah, Uber's
in about a month, and the only thing that's been fishy with Uber is the trip radar.
The trip radar
it's not telling
you where you're going anymore.
Doesn't tell you where you're going, so we stopped taking them.
Or drug.
Well, isn't maybe
deals.
It's not the same on Eats. I don't know, but on rideshare, the trip radar always offers you don't want.
Yeah, it's for the most
it's like the trash.
One out of every 20 is good on the trip radar.
Right. It's like nobody else wanted this.
Yeah.
So we're gonna put it on radar.
Well, we get something on trip radar, and then a minute later, the offer comes to our phone as a regular offer.
Have you had the package delivery pickup from Uber?
I won't do any of those, but I haven't even seen one now.
Yeah, we accidentally did one.
We accidentally did one. It turned out to be terrible.
Turned out to be
possibly
it was probably a drug deal.
I mean, Instacart is now, I don't know if you guys saw this, but they're now delivering furniture for free of $35 or more. First of all, furniture is $35 or more. So, I mean, there's not going to be one order that's not quite 35. You're going to have to, no, they're all over that. But what, I can get a couch or a love seat and then tell the guy to go pick up my lunch.
Hold on, let me go rent my U-Haul so I can bring you your free sofa.
I don't know. It's things like that. I'm just like, why even enter the space? But I'm for this bill. I'm actually a big fan of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I do think it's a good thing. Don't get me wrong, because full transparency is good. Obviously the apps are going to the companies are going to lose money.
Yeah, but it looks like in every state or in a lot, they're going to lose money anyway.
They're going to lose a lot of money. I'm just trying to figure out then what does this do to the food delivery apps in the end. At the end of the day, can they at that point then survive? I'm not even thinking about the gig work aspect of it, because I'm thinking about the things before the gig work. The gig work is, you got customer ordering food, you got then the apps, and then the relationship with the customer, then the relationship with the restaurant before it even gets to the person who's actually doing the work. Can they survive from that aspect before even then? Because we know, again, that the customer, it's always going to be the case that the customer is going to be paying most of what the drivers get. I don't think that will never change. Right. So can they survive there with now making less money, either A, because they have to lower their fees, or B, because less people are ordering, and then in turn, yes, the restaurant will get hurt, because even though the restaurants have to pay these fees, these companies, they're still making some kind of profit off of orders that they might not normally get. I mean, the amount of orders we see, like we picked up from a Dominican place the other day, which was in the video that came out today, and it was like 6 or 7 miles away. That customer who was 6 or 7 miles away is not ordering from that Dominican deli. They're not driving all that way to go to that Dominican deli. So they're getting business from people who normally may not be going there, because they go on the app and they feel like Dominican food, and they click on the button for Dominican food, and they say, okay, this place has it, I'm going to order from this place. So the restaurants will definitely lose money as well. So I don't really know. It just seems like I feel like a lot of people are going to get hurt by it, but I do think that there should be some kind of transparency. Do the food delivery apps survive?
Yeah. I mean, the grocery apps, I have some real worry about. I don't even know, because I see the grocery stores going to town on these things. And what they're offering is in-store pricing and $5.99 delivery. What do you think about this, though, what JP's saying? I feel like they charge some restaurants, or else they kind of say, or else you're going to have to upcharge. It's almost like an offer.
Well, don't they? Didn't Rob say that they do?
Yeah, Rob says that. Yeah, they do. There's a fee. There is a fee.
Yeah, they do charge the restaurant.
Yeah, there is a fee.
I mean, unless there's different contracts for different restaurants.
Yep. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I'm sure their
contract
with McDonald's is much different than a restaurant with local deli place, But I was saying that I wonder, because I always felt like they were like, hey, you could pay this fee, or we could just upcharge your items. It's like, and it'll be buried. But so Gary says that Grubhub's been around for a while and they've always been transparent. Yeah, but again, it's are they? Now I'm really curious if they charge the restaurants. I really wasn't sure. I figured that.
Let me double check. I'll shoot Rob a text message right now, and he'll confirm to me.
But I mean, so I saw that. Okay, so this comment was made here just a second ago. So Carrie is saying that the hidden tips she's talking about Uber have been showing, but then right here she talked about something I'd sent to Lou as one of the things I wanted to talk about. But she wishes Uber would stop letting people tip bait.
Yeah, they still can go on, and even though you're seeing the whole tip, they still can go on and take away their tip, which we had one last week.
I don't know, like I don't know why they, and it's not just Uber, Instacart as well. They can tip bait. I don't know why they allow it. They really just shouldn't.
But I mean, it's going on more and more. I mean, like I know people who used to go, you know what? I always hear about tip baiting, but it's never happened to me. I don't really know how true it is. Blah. I don't think those kind of people exist anymore. People, even if it doesn't happen to them daily, are very familiar that it's a common occurrence to be tip baited. So I don't know. I did some DoorDash today, and I'll tell you, I put a community post up saying I'm going to do 2 hours. So I just did it during lunch. I wanted to see. And wow, the second it was done, I did a curry because I was like, oh my God, like I cannot believe I felt dirty. I felt like I needed to take a shower, but I was still out. So I'm like, I'll just go do this because I was like, what just happened? I just made no money.
Right.
So they get a 15 to 30% commission on every order. So that's basically what they charge the restaurants. They get 15 to 30% commission on every order.
God damn. It's like you can't it's like double taxation, man. Can't do that.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, so the tip baiting thing, I don't know if you guys have you guys had it happen to you?
Yeah, last week. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
We had yeah, it's only been a couple of times, but yeah, we had one a couple weeks ago, which I didn't even notice until a couple of days later.
It was on Uber.
That somebody tip baited us. And I've also had one that was really annoying when I was on a lunch shift once, where I got tip baited. The order, I guess, seemed like a little bit too good to be true. But yeah, no, it's happened. It's annoying. It's annoying because it just shouldn't be allowed. It's a really scummy thing to do by the customer. And only customers would do it that know how to cheat the system, know how to get a driver to accept an order by putting a high tip on it to get the driver to get to do the order, and they really don't want to tip. Or even just even the idea of being able to take away a tip. I mean, could you imagine, back in the day, your pizza guy comes and you give him a tip, and then as he's getting back to his car, you go, "Hey, actually, you know what? Get back to $5."
Right.
I'm actually going to decide,
because let's be honest, right now,
tip
baiting isn't turning 20 into 2. Most people who tip bait 20 pull the whole thing. So that would be like giving them a 20 and going, you know what? Can I just have that whole thing back?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even know why I handed that to you. Just give me that back.
And it's something that can only happen in the world of apps because because there's no human interaction to it.
Right.
And that's what I've said is like, look, it took me a long time to get my head around the fact of even when everybody's like tip baiting or the tips up front suck. I'm like, shouldn't they be tipping after though? Even when I was veteran in this, because I was like, I come from bartending and all this other stuff where I'm like, man, my tip is dependent on my service.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And even like what you're saying, delivery back in the day from sandwich shops that might have done it, but pizza places for sure. If you ordered a pizza and it came cold and you were starting to get mad and it was, you probably affected the tip.
So,
even though they probably stacked the driver too much, but back in those days, your performance or the performance of the actual the whole situation, the calling it in, having the pizza made, put in a box, cut, given to the driver, getting to you in some kind of timely fashion. They always changed how long that would take. You expected that. And if you didn't get it, that was bad service. But you still always tipped. But now the fact of having to tip up front, at first I couldn't wrap my head around it so much, but now I can. I get it. And it needs to happen.
It needs to happen because of the way that the apps are structured, because of the low base pay. I mean, Shipt is a perfect example. You remember like way back when we were like rah Shipt, and we hardly ever do any Shipt now because of the risk involved, because of the fact that we never know we're going to get a tip.
25% tip of the ones we've done.
Of the ones we've done, we've been tipped 25% of the time. So it's so scary to think about
it's like
doing
a
an
really
order.
Good offer that
which you never see. And okay, Shipt's base pay is really good, but not knowing the tip up front, and even though actually Shipt customers do actually tip up front, but Shipt doesn't show the tips at all. So the point is that if we had that on every single app, it would obviously force the apps to pay higher base pay because nothing would ever get picked up. But I think that we wouldn't be doing any gig work. We'd be like, goodbye Long Island Dash experience. We're not doing this channel anymore because we don't even want to do this anymore. So because of the fact that we don't know what we're going to get paid, and I don't want to risk driving 5 miles for $3 and maybe the customer only tipped 1, or maybe they didn't tip at all. So unfortunately it's necessary, because of the fact that it's too much of a risk. It's too time. is way too valuable to waste it to do something that you know that high of a risk. You
Right.
know?
So when I did the curry to Vegas, I never used DoorDash ever. My son and I don't use it. I don't use the apps. But when I was there, we ate out at a couple really nice meals. I was there for a couple days, but I also we called 2 DoorDashes into my buddy's place, and there was something interesting that I saw. I haven't been on the customer side for a while. That said, like, you know, we made the order, right? And then it said the amount, and it said it'll be there in 40 minutes. And then it said, do you want it in 20 to 25 for $6 more?
Huh.
Which we did. We clicked yes. But so what happens with that money now too?
Mm-hmm. Well, right. Which is funny.
You would think it would go to the restaurant because they're going to make it faster. But
I would
sure
think it goes right in DoorDash's pocket, but I don't know.
I'm sure it does.
It does because it now prohibits the driver from getting a stacked order, but the driver's base pay remains the same.
Really? See, my other thought of that is like, how are you getting are they just using a dasher who's closer, or are they giving that as a better offer to a dasher?
My guess is that my guess is that it's just that order is not going to be stacked. It's just not going to be stacked. The algorithm is just going to say it's just not going to be stacked. Just like how Chick-fil-A, you know, you won't get a stacked order from Chick-fil-A because Chick-fil-A doesn't allow for stacked orders and how McDonald's used to be. It's the same thing. If a customer pays for priority, which essentially is what that is, the order is not going to get stacked. Now,
that's a lot of
money. The reason why that is a lot of money, by the way. $6 is freaking ridiculous. That's a complete. I would not pay that.
But there was 4 of us, and it was cutting the time in half.
Oh, okay.
They know the game.
Right.
They knew how to play me. I'm in Vegas.
Right.
Of course, I'm going to pay $6 more to cut this time in half.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, it's not even a guarantee. It's not even a guarantee for a couple of reasons.
Actually,
we know.
I believe that one said it was the 40 minutes just said 40 or 45.
But the reason why it's not a guarantee is because if you have multi-appers like a lot of us here watching who have no problem taking 2 orders on 2 different apps, it's not a guarantee.
Yeah.
Because even though we're not going to get a stacked order on DoorDash, doesn't mean we can't also pick up an Uber Eats while we're along the way.
I mean, for all I know, that goes.
Then you get a contract violation like I did.
Well, that was only.
For all I know, that goes to the earned by time people who can't be stacking orders because they earn by time.
It could if it's available in that area. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Vegas had earned by time.
Okay. Yep. Then that could make sense. It would go.
So therefore, the people getting paid worst are the ones that are going to get a rushed order out.
Yes, exactly.
I mean,
because they're already doing earned by time, so they don't really care anyway.
Yeah.
Clearly they don't like money.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Apologies to anybody who does earn by time, by the way.
Well, no, I mean, but if
is that even
honestly,
an option for us anymore?
Honestly, if I don't know, if you're going to do earn by time, I feel like you should be doing something else.
Right, exactly.
I mean, you really should, because the earn by time, at least in here, like it can vary a little bit, but it doesn't get very high. It's like $13 to $16.
What did it say for us? It was like,
I think it's just like even like below minimum wage, or maybe it's at
I
minimum wage.
I thought it was like $8 or something.
No, it was $8 in
seriously?
Wisconsin.
Oh.
It was $8 in Wisconsin. When we were in Wisconsin, we saw it, and it was $8. And
wasn't it up by Madeline School?
No, we saw it in Hicksville, but Hicksville, I think it was like 13.
Oh, maybe
I think it was 13 per hour
but we figured it
in Hicksville. But
we definitely make more money.
Yeah,
just doing the apps.
Yeah, we did the math, and it made logically no sense at all because we broke it down to, okay, if we did this many if we did 3 orders in an hour,
we're already making more than that.
We're already making more than that, based on taking a certain dollar per hour, which in our area, it's so busy over here because all people do is eat. We're going to make that. So earned by, and also the fact that earned by time takes some of that freedom out of it. The other day we were like, we didn't really feel like we just weren't in the mood to do shopping orders. We weren't feeling like there was some great shopping orders coming through, and we just really weren't feeling doing huge shopping orders. And we said, you know what, as independent contractors doing this, it's our right today
To
that
choose
we
not
don't,
to do that.
yeah, we don't, even though we can make this much money today, we just don't really feel like doing it. So we're just going to choose not to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love this, that he's picking on me right now.
It's Yost.
Yeah, I'm supposed to. I'm actually supposed to be out in Kansas City for my birthday. And we were gonna. He's a big we both love baseball, and he's a big Kansas City fan. And the Tigers are in town for my birthday, and I'm a big Detroit fan. So, yeah, so I'm supposed to be going with him to that. And I know he sent me a text yesterday, so I'm guessing that's part of it. So shut up, Yost.
Are you ghosting Yost Malone?
Never would I ghost Yost. I don't even think you could say that fast.
Guys, one of the night guys
No,
around.
No, I'm trying to make this happen, but I'll contact him after this. I don't know about you, Lou and Mary, but me, I'm literally busy till I fall down at night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What's
I'm never like I'm not going to do this. It's just the list is never.
We
ending.
literally, what was it, 2 hours before we were at the track field watching our son
we were actually
run, and
we were actually a little bit worried it wasn't going to end on time.
We're like, oh my God, are we going to get home in time? We got to eat. We got to do all this stuff. So Steve, did you get hit with that Uber thing that happened where everyone got charged?
Where they took where Uber took drivers' money, because I guess
they said they overpaid or whatever. Our daughter got charged.
Yeah, and it was the one that was on April
Fools. Get her money back. Yeah,
like what the heck?
It really was too. It was on April Fools. It was actually 3 days long.
Yeah.
Which I found even weirder.
We hadn't been out, so we hadn't been doing deliveries those couple days. But yeah, she called us. She's like, Uber just stole my money. Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, and they did. Some people said that it was a pretty easy, like at least for them, that it was a pretty easy thing. They could just see they kind of doubled something. Still doesn't make it okay. But there were a lot of people who literally have screenshots of what the pay would be, and then the retraction changed that pay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she said the same thing. She keeps track of everything, and she was supposed to get paid.
Madeline just texted, so they hear you talking about me. She's upstairs.
But yeah, yep. I mean, I think that I don't know, if you have screenshots and you think you did really well, and they add up to $300, and Uber says, "Oops, we screwed up some fees and stuff. We need 100 back." I don't really see to me, in my opinion, yeah, it's going to be expensive, but that is your error.
Yeah, once that crap hits my bank account, that's mine. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, because you know what? You have a lot more. I'm just a stupid schmuck doing the deliveries. You are the company. You have a lot more money than I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, if the error is that they're showing you upfront pricing, like a lot of people were saying, I mean, if you have all your screenshots of everything you did and you don't get paid that, or they ask for a retraction, I mean, it really puts into question what's the point of this? What's the point of the upfront pricing? Because you can just claim that any given night. Now I'd be worried to work it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is it retraction night? I won't even know if it's a good order. I'll just be like, I don't know, dude.
Right.
You guys might lose. You guys might lose it. Maybe they all go out gambling together, all the execs, and they lose huge, and they're like, dude, just take half the driver's pay away for this weekend.
They won't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, try. There was what's his name, Uber driver Phoenix, who had he had 2 or a week of DoorDash pay taken away because a place was shut down when he went to get the thing, and so he reported it like you do.
Yeah.
And then he sat there, and more orders came in, and they said no, and he was owed like $1,300. deactivated. He's got it fixed since, but they deactivated him and they didn't pay him.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I heard about it.
I mean, like, but I've heard of this before too. Like them, like if they deactivate you, they're like, well, all that money you earned is ours. And
like,
I mean, I don't know how other states are. In Colorado, if you get fired, you have if you walk in, you get paid that day. You have to be paid that day.
Right. Because
So,
you get paid. You get paid for the work that you did.
Right. And so if they fire you, they don't have to wait till the next pay cycle. They actually have to write you a check.
Right. Exactly.
So I mean, like, I don't know where they get away going, well, you're deactivated, so we're keeping this 1,300.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
I mean, that's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just,
Well, I mean, listen, the apps are unregulated, so but
Soda just got deactivated.
Yeah, Soda. Yeah, I was watching Pedro's video today.
Wow.
Yeah, it's insane. That's insane.
Wait, what?
Insane. Yeah.
When did this happen? I talked to him not long ago.
I think it happened. It said it happened. I think yesterday. I think. Right. It just happened yesterday. I watched Pedro's. Video. Pedro brought up his video today.
Oh, we don't cash out. We wait till the week.
Yeah, we don't. We don't.
Maybe
cash
we
out.
should every day.
We don't cash out just because of the fact that it ends up being a real pain to cash out and the fees and stuff like that. So yeah, I usually wait.
Right. See, I mean, JP says, remember, no protections. We are not employees. That's why I believe in this part of the bill here.
Yeah.
You need the right to appeal a deactivation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree. That should be. But yeah, it's like, and I'm still kind of against like the idea of regulating the apps, because once you regulate the apps, I think things can get really bad, and that's then when exactly. Like, what did you think about? I'm not sure if you were familiar with it or not. I guess it was about a month and a half ago. DoorDash sent out a survey. Were you familiar with that survey at all that they put out?
For, I mean, I don't know. For all I know, I deleted
the survey.
something.
It was a very long survey, but a lot of it seemed to relate to the idea of being an employee, and it was asking a lot of questions, basically asking you if you wanted to have the same benefits as an employee. So I guess it was kind of trying to gauge whether drivers wanted to be an employee or an independent contractor. Is what it kind of like seemed like the survey was going. It was a very long survey.
I'm sure in some way it's tweaked out to be, so in the end, everybody wants to be independent contractor. Even if they said yes to employee, somehow there's other things in there in the survey that probably led it to be either this person doesn't know what they're talking about.
Well, I think because it kept asking like the same question, just like in a different way.
Kept on rewording the same question over and over.
I think they were trying to trick you into to doing the survey the way they wanted the survey to end, I think.
Yeah.
Why I didn't have to do the survey. I did DoorDash.
I didn't either. Lou.
Yeah. I did it. It was actually kind of funny. I did it, and we recorded it for the channel, and it was so bad, and it was so long that I actually did not include any of it in our video because it was so bad and so tilting that I literally cut every bit of it out of the video. But yeah, I thought it was really interesting because it made me kind of think like, either if DoorDash is preparing for something, or I didn't really understand what the motive was behind it, but a lot of it really had to do with trying to gauge the driver and if the drivers kind of wanted to be independent contractors or if they wanted to be employees.
Yeah. I mean, I just know there has to be mind games going on because they don't want employees.
Right.
So that has to be some kind of mind game. And we know they play mind games, but it has to be some kind of mind game because somehow they're like trying to get you. I didn't do it. So somehow I'm wondering why you even did it, Lou, but okay, you did.
Well, if you want, you're a member of the Long Island Dash crew. The whole entire survey is in the deleted scenes. It's a 40-minute deleted scenes. Go find it. You can watch the 40-minute version of us doing this survey.
Okay, but was there a skip it button too?
No, you had to answer every question. And actually, really funny. You know what the funny thing was is if you completed the survey, you got into a drawing for like $100 gift card or something.
No, I think it was like $25.
Oh, $25 gift card. And then at the end, when you go to put in your information for the gift card, it completely crashed.
But that's what I mean. Like, you didn't, again, I meant Skip, like, you didn't have to do this. It wasn't like a TOS update. Like, you got to do this before you can.
I did it because I was like, oh, this could be pretty good content for the channel. And then it ended up being so boring that I completely cut the entire thing out. Literally 40 minutes worth of video. And I completely cut all of it out because it was so boring.
So my only thing I'm thinking of now is I wonder if the reason they did it was because most people like Mary or me were like, hell no, I'm not doing this dumb thing.
Right. I'm not.
Like,
yeah.
But then and I get why you did it. You did it for content. And you did it just to go through it and see, what is this crap? I get that. But like, maybe their thing is, hey, in Long Island, only 3 people want to be employees because only 3 people took the survey.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
And so that's like their battle now. They're like, dude, literally under 1% of Long Island wants to be employees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, under 1% took the survey.
Right. But listen, that's that's how they would, that's how they would spin it too. I mean, like I've said it before, being that we are in the majority, like part-timers are the majority, of people who do these apps. If it ever changed, it would be a complete disaster, because the freedom of being able to make this extra money to the point where we never worry about money, because we always know that we can make money. We always have the ability, if we need some extra money, to literally go out. We need $300. Something broke down in the house and we don't have the money for it. All right, we can just go and make that $300. Like, literally, it's and
like our daughters, they're like, oh, I want to do whatever. I want to go to the movies this weekend. All right, I need $20. I'm going to go out for a couple hours, make $20. I can go to the movies.
Right, exactly. And if that ever went away, it would, like being an employee. Like, if I wanted a part-time job, I can go get a part-time job. There are fast food places and, retail stores, all these places. A lot of these places are hiring. It's not that difficult to just go and get a job, especially nowadays. But the freedom of not having a boss for a part-time job,
right, and having a schedule and
is
restrictions, and
is huge. And I know, like, with or without the YouTube, obviously the YouTube channel now has become a big part of it.
Right.
But the YouTube channel is its own gig, again, its own gig work, its own form of gig work. Even without it, like, we'd still be out there doing it, because it's, to me, it's like, I wish that we had this like 20 years ago, Mary. I wish we had this 20 years ago, and the stress that we had 20 years ago when we were in our early 20s and we were just starting out, and we had our jobs that were at the beginning of our careers, and we weren't making as much, and we needed that extra money.
Cost of living was much lower then too, though.
But cost of living, but it's like, when you're 20 years old and you got twins coming along, and you're trying to figure out, where's all this money come from, and you're living in a 2-bedroom apartment. If we would have had gig apps then, we wouldn't have had the stress that we had back then. And it's like, it's so huge, like the W-2 jobs, nice and secure, but also a lot of money comes out in taxes. I just got my we always get our year-end bonus around like March or April. And the taxes that come out of that are insane. It's roughly about 50% of your bonus the government takes. So even something like that, like, thank God for the gig apps to be able to go out and to do this kind of work, because even a bonus is the government takes so much of your money from W-2 jobs. And
for us, the W-2 help with our taxes, because we had so many write-offs between. You mean with the 1099? Yeah, between the gas and all the things that we were able to write off that we normally can't. Yeah, because we still got slammed on taxes though, big time. We got slammed on taxes big time, but that's another issue. I gotta give a quick shout out to Hannibal here. Hannibal hit 10,000 subs today.
Oh, nice! Great job, Hannibal.
That's awesome.
Congratulations. Yeah, he is. So I just
Hannibal is
wanted to...
like another, just like it's amazing. This whole entire community, just super, super nice people. I mean, like Hannibal is like, just seems like the sweetest and like the nicest person, you know. So
Yeah,
many
he is.
amazing, nice people in this community.
Well,
And I don't use the word sweet very often.
No.
So, and I just called Hannibal sweet.
He's adorable.
Yeah.
Like sweet or like sweet?
Yeah. Both sweets. Like sweet and sweet.
So I don't know what, I mean, you guys, so I guess the last thing I wanted to ask you guys is like, I kind of was trying to feel this out with the para panel yesterday too, was, so in your market, you were doing gig work in 2020? No?
We started in 2021.
Okay, so you didn't hit it at the beginning of the pandemic. But okay, so
we started summer of 2021.
Well, it was still deep in the pandemic.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Like there was still masking. It was on off.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Get back home. Don't go out.
My company only just started not having masks only
a month ago,
6 weeks ago. So
yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. What's up there, Bud Soda?
Hey, what's up, Bud Soda? But so okay, when you started to kind of to now, like without, I mean, because everybody knows you multi-app, you do Instacart. I know you have Ship, but you don't do it much anymore. You do DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub. I think that's it, right? Is that all of them?
Yeah, the three food deliveries and Instacart and the Ship. Yeah, because we can't get on Spark.
Okay, so you do those and I know you're part-time, but like if you forget if you've had to like juggle days and hours and stuff like that, but just overall, I mean, like obviously in the pandemic, the tips were better and some things were better and whatnot, but overall, how much less do you think you're making now on the same hours, or is it more stressful? Because I can, like, this kind of goes back to the full-time versus part-time thing too, because full-timers are feeling a hell of stress right now. Whereas I think you guys might not feel it as much, but do you recognize it, or are you kind of like, it's kind of the same?
Well, we've cut back a lot.
Yeah,
we're only going out like 2 days, 2 nights.
Yeah, we've cut back a lot, but in terms of just raw dollar per hour, we're still at about $25 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Give or take.
So really all the highs and lows, it really still comes out to you're still making the same.
Yeah, we're not making any more, but we're not making any less either. And I think a lot of that also has to do because of the fact that we're pretty much only going out 2, sometimes 3 days a week. Is we're going out those like peak hours that we know we're going to make the most money, as opposed to, the full timers who have to go out during those non-peak hours. They're going to feel it. Especially if you're somebody who wants to have a family life, where you're going to be home during dinner time because you want to now enjoy your life and enjoy your family. Because I think doing anything, if you're not enjoying your home life and your family life, I understand you're trying to provide and everything, but those years go by so fast.
So fast.
So I think for those people who want to have that family life, but also want to do this full time, working those morning and afternoon, maybe early evening shifts, are definitely going to feel that, because I think the time where you're going to see less orders now is during those times where people were more impulse buying, especially when the pandemic was going on. And just in terms of eating habits, with people at home all day getting fatter and ordering more food, because there was just nothing else to do and they were bored, and they were just bored, they would eat, bored eating or whatever it would be called. That's not happening now.
Also, restaurants weren't open. I mean, some were, but a lot weren't. I mean, there was still like, through this whole process, it's like we're just getting back to, it's not even normal anymore. We're just getting back to a somewhat normal, but it's a new normal. Like, we all hate each other, but we go within a foot of each other. We're not social distancing anymore, but
right.
So it looks like
also
we looked before, but we all hate each other. Nobody
and also there
Right.
was, and also, you know, let's just think about also the fact that there were these stimulus checks also that we were getting, right? The government kept on feeding us money.
Yeah.
And I think that also added into a lot of people ordering food because they were taking that money and then they were ordering food, either because they wanted to give these, and it's unfortunate because, you know, especially more so even during that time, the misinformation of, I want to give our local businesses, we can't go there, but I want to give them money, and they're ordering through DoorDash, and essentially the businesses weren't getting that money that, you know, the way they should have. So now, where everything now is back to normal, which I guess it is. I don't even know how to quote it. Why am I doing this quote thing? I don't even know. It is normal now. Normal. It is back to normal now.
It's different though.
It's well because now we have new habits that we've all created. You know, I bet a lot of people, including I myself, I don't know about you, Mary, don't remember pre-2020 that well.
No.
You know, and how things really were pre-2020. So maybe it's new normal. I don't know. Maybe we don't know.
I mean, I still go into a store and I don't want to stand next to you, like, you know, kind of thing. Like you kind of stand.
She's talking about me, by the way. She doesn't want to stand next to me. Maybe it's because I'm like.
Yeah, exactly.
What? What's wrong?
Yeah. You know, I mean, I think also like these viruses, like this rhinovirus, that's like you know, that's like the big one of getting sick right now. Like I think I think we're very
the rhinovirus, the classic.
I think we're very weak to the viruses now.
Oh yeah.
After locking ourselves in our homes for years.
Oh yeah. Well, especially like this year. I don't know about in your area, but this year in New York we had one snowstorm.
It wasn't even a snowstorm. It was a dusting.
It was like so this summer is going to be terrible with like there's probably going to be droughts. There's probably going to be, you know, they said the bugs are going to be terrible.
Fires.
And fires. There already was a fire in like Jersey, I think. But just people's allergies, just because of the not having a good winter. And just allergies weren't existent. Colds weren't existent. Everything is like coming back with like full force. It's crazy.
Yeah, because all our antibodies are down. So if you go around anybody that even has it, you probably get it.
Yeah. Well, Lou got the gallstones from somebody. Who gave those to you? I don't know who.
Oh yeah, I had my gallbladder taken out.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious. I just wanted to open up my spreadsheet just because you kind of got me thinking. Where's my spreadsheet? DoorDash spreadsheet. Because I have all, you know, I have all the numbers. I have all the numbers there. And I'll tell you exactly. Because I record every single shift in a spreadsheet.
Okay.
So like he'll
let you know how much we're making.
Yeah, I mean our last few shifts we did $35 an hour, 25, 29, 28, 27. Those we had a $13 and an $18 per hour shift, but then 24, 27. So yeah, I mean for us it's not
February always seems to be a little lull. For us, right?
But then April it starts picking up again because we're just an opposite market from like a lot of markets. You know, we don't have a summer slowdown. We have a winter slowdown.
Again, you know? I got to tell you, like it's a night and day difference when I talk to part timers versus full timers. If you're full time, you're feeling this, and you're like, dude, it sucks. It sucks. Now I'm dying
because you're a full timer because the issue is that you can't be as selective with when you go out, where we can be completely selective when we go out. Like we don't, we try to avoid going out on Thursdays. We never go out on Tuesdays. We never go out on Mondays. Never go out on Wednesdays because why would we? We're not going to make money those days. If we went out on those days, our numbers would look a lot lower. But we choose not to go out on them because those are the slow days. You know.
Yeah, we go out Sunday and do all shopping. Like we killed it on Sunday because
we know people are doing food shopping on Sundays. So we go out when we know we can make the most money.
Yeah, and I think that the people who are doing it full time, like, you know, we all love the flexibility and all of what comes with this, and a lot of us do it a lot based on that reason. But like you were saying about family, if you're trying to have a family, you're now losing the flexibility even to yourself,
right?
Because you're gonna say, dude, I got to pay the bills. I can't go home, and so it really now it's starting to even look more like a real business to me.
Yeah.
Because now you're going to have to make some real business decisions. Are you willing to
Right.
kill yourself and build your business, or or is this going to be too much for you? Because we all knew these days would come where after the pandemic, things would really quiet down.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it really does have to be a stepping stone.
Yeah.
It really does have to be a stepping stone because of the fact that this is not when you're doing the deliveries for the gig apps, you're not running your own business because you're not in control. You have zero control.
I mean, it does afford you to be able to try and start your own business. I'm not even talking about like apps either, while doing this on the side and earning income that otherwise you could never even do. That
right,
but
I don't think anybody. I don't think anybody should do this and bank on it.
No,
bank on it being there tomorrow. Doing this to open up yourself while you're sitting doing nothing, studying. Starting to work on that business, working on building a client base for that particular business, growing that skill to then be able to network and become bigger and bigger and bigger, and using this because it's a lot harder when you have your W-2 to be able to do that kind of stuff because you're not on your time.
Right.
Whereas when you have your 1099, you're on your time to be able to now work on something else that's going to ultimately be that, you know what I mean? And you're going to, it's funny. I watched there's a vlogger who I watch, who, she's one of the bigger vloggers out there, like lifestyle vloggers. And she always talks about how when she first got started doing YouTube, while she was getting started on this journey of starting this business of hers, that she drove a Grubhub. Back during the early days of the pandemic, and it was doing that she was able to start what now is a big YouTube business for her, where she does consulting and things like that as well. And I think like that's super important if you're going to do full time, that you're doing it full time, not just because I didn't feel like doing a W-2 anymore and now I have this freedom, because to be able to make the amount of money that you may need to make, you're going to be making some huge life sacrifices. And life, like I said, is just way too short to sacrifice the important things, which is your family.
Yeah. I mean, and now you have to work holidays. You have to work those busy. You have to. It's not that flexible anymore. It's you have to be flexible if you're looking to make money.
Right. Exactly. Because, aside from a couple of states, like you said, like we said at the beginning, when you take time off, you're not going to be making that money. If you want to take the prime times off, if you want to take the Saturday nights off, you're going to make less money. And
I just thought, like, how people say they live paycheck to paycheck, like being a gig worker, it is truly a paycheck to paycheck. Like you are
really is,
unless there's how can you like be banking anything?
And even more,
you're basically everything you're making, you're living off of.
Yeah, day to day.
Yeah,
day to day.
Yeah,
and God forbid the app, the Dasher Direct or the Uber cash out isn't working correctly.
Yeah.
I
mean, we've had it with our daughters. They're like, can you just front us some money right now? Because we can't get our money out of the account.
They've had so many problems
because it's in limbo because it's, hasn't gotten to their bank account.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, well, you guys, I always love having you on. So, but before we leave, can let's plug what you're doing, because I know you got the vlog, I know you got your channel, I know you got. I know Lou's a poker hustler. I know Mary's an X-ray technician. I mean, they got all kinds. This household has so much things going on. I don't even know.
Actually, next weekend we're taking a little hiatus because we're going to Wisconsin to go visit our one daughter. She's starring in a opera. So all four of us are going out to go visit her. And then I think the week after that, the one comes home from upstate, and then we go back out to go get her,
Back to
Alyssa,
Wisconsin again. So
to
twice
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin next month. We'll be in Wisconsin twice next
in
month.
2 weeks we go to Wisconsin and we
Yeah.
drive her home.
So there might be a shortage of videos next month because we were usually always been very far ahead, but right now we aren't. Right now we're kind of like video to video right now.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, but
so we have that going on.
Yeah. Also, then we've gone to some other hobbies in the meantime as well. So, but yeah, we got, anybody hasn't checked out, we have two channels now. We obviously the Long Island Dash Experience. That's our bread and butter. That's the main channel.
That's the gig worker channel.
That's the priority channel.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have our Long Island Vlogging Experience, which is anything for the most part other than gig work, which the channel doesn't really have much of a direction. It's kind of a miscellaneous of what's, like we just recorded. We just recorded the video with us
for anniversary.
We just recorded a video for anniversary, which is going up tomorrow, which is gonna be a really nice video. We went out to dinner, we recorded it, and we did a little ring ceremony. So that's going to be coming out tomorrow. But then we did another video where we went shopping at Target just for ourselves or whatever. So that channel is just like, if you want to just get to know us a little more outside of doing the gig work.
Mm-hmm. But that's what I was going to say, is that a lot of people who watch this channel, your channel, Long Island Dash Experience, watch it because of you two.
Exactly.
It's not so. I mean, not that you're not putting content out there, but there's people gravitate to the creators they like.
Oh yeah,
and you guys especially have a following of people who really like you guys, and so I think that's why I was plugging it, because I think that people would be interested if they don't know about it.
Yeah, definitely. It's called the Long Island Vlogging Experience. So pretty easy.
Just us doing us things.
Just turn the camera on and just like see what happens and see what happens in our day.
There was an episode where we discussed, Lou and I have been losing weight. So we discussed the company we've been using and all this stuff. So
we didn't even mean for that to be a video. No. That was actually supposed to just be an intro to a longer video. And it ends up just becoming a video. And when I was editing, and I was like, all right, so this is going to be its own video now. And
so, okay, so you got that, you got Long Island thing going still, but and that's going to keep going, obviously, but we just really enjoy doing the gig work, and as long as it's
Lou
here,
and Mary's waffles, yes,
yes, the waffles. As long as the gig work is here, here's the good thing about the other channel is, if gig work goes away one day, we do enjoy creating content. We'll still be able to create content.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we thoroughly also just enjoy doing the gig work. It's a hustle. It's not just about the money.
Mm-hmm. It's
about the adventure. It's about stories that we get to tell each other, that we get to experience together. There's so much, like, for us, like we had mentioned before, and like you mentioned, Let's Play DoorDash. It is a game, and Mary and I love playing games.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's why we have a goal.
Yeah, exactly. And it's, to me, it's, I was shocked to think, I brought it up a couple weeks ago. I brought it up last week. The fact that, like, this is now 2 years we've been doing this, and I can't believe we've been doing this for 2 years now, because it hasn't felt like 2 years, because it's legit fun to go out and do these orders, because you just never know what you're going to get from a shift to shift. And I think that's one of the cool things about being part-timers, that we don't have to stress it, and it can be fun, because at the end of the day, the money that we make from it is all, like, that's all the extra money, that we're not relying on, that if we made it or we didn't make it, it wouldn't change anything.
Right. But you have fun doing it. You help people.
Exactly.
And I mean, and you're making money while you're doing something fun. I mean, maybe we all question how much are we all making, but hey, to me, that's all the more reason to find things like this to do, and find ways to stream it, or whatever you want to do, even ride-alongs, whatever, just whatever, because it actually makes the time go by quicker even.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
now if only the editing didn't take so long.
That's why we were talking about outsourcing earlier.
Yeah.
Me, I'll just outsource mine.
Listen,
I'll be like,
if we, not that I ever expect us to get big enough to do it, but if we ever did, I would totally hire an editor. but that's not going to happen. So
I don't know if you would, man. I don't know.
No,
if
I don't think he would. I think
there.
he would. I think
I would hire an editor, and after the first minute, I'm like, give me that crap.
exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think he can give that away.
You'd hire an editor,
anyway,
and he'd be fired the same day.
Yeah, exactly.
It
This isn't working out.
It doesn't matter because it
That's
doesn't
not
matter
the way I saw the picture to be.
Well, it doesn't matter anyway because the amount editor would charge to do a 40-minute video, you can't make that money back with AdSense anyway. Spoiler for anybody who does not have a YouTube channel and thinks that YouTubers make tons and tons of money. AdSense does not pay very well, and that's what. So the money that YouTubers make, unless they're the big YouTubers getting sponsorships all over the place, the AdSense it's from Google, so you can guess. It's pennies. It's fractions of pennies.
Yeah. But I mean, all of us in here, thank you everybody for joining us. And I mean, everybody loves the grind. I just saw Ceci say it too, but I love the grind. She's replying to Bud Soda on something, but I mean, I think all of us like this too. There's not just money, and it's not just the freedom. There's all of us enjoy it, or most of us,
And if you're not enjoying it, then you shouldn't do it. And I think grinding, is. It sounds like kind of a weird thing. Grinding is a fun thing to do. It is because it's very rewarding. It's rewarding to know that you did this, that you worked hard for it, and you weren't guaranteed it, and you had to work hard for it, and that's a rewarding thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So everybody out there that is, I mean, I think a lot of these people actually I know are full-time gig workers, and to all, I mean, like I'm doing full-time gig too during the days, but it's mostly curry, and I know, and people keep asking me, I'll tell you what, it's not easy to get up every day at 4:30 a.m. and be out the door at 5 for a scheduled 6 a.m. I mean, say what you want, and I've had a lot of people say, well, you make a lot more money and you're on curry, but there's a lot more to curry. Yeah, I might be done by 2 in the afternoon too, but I'm up at 4:30, and that's a whole different lifestyle than just getting up for the lunch rush for delivery.
Yeah.
Because 4:30 in the morning every day.
All the power to you, Steve.
And hauling. I mean, I even said today the reason I did DoorDash was because yesterday and today total, I moved over 2,200 pounds of paint.
Wow.
So I was like, I'm just done today. I cannot move anything more. Like, that's over a ton, And these were like new builds, so I'm like climbing them up and stuff. But so I tried DoorDash for 2 hours, but it was just horrible, you guys. I mean, it was I was blown away. It's definitely not. There's not. I mean, I know it's Tuesday. I know it was afternoon, not the best day, but I just wanted to try, see what was up. It had been a while. And, I guess I'll have to try another night too, because it was horrible. Just horrible. The tips, I mean, I can tell you too, the other thing before we go about the earn by time people, Ellen in Henderson, Nevada, delivering with Ellen, she has been doing the earn by time, and she did a video on it. She had done like 8 or 10 of them, and 2 of them had like $1 tips, which I was like, hey, I'm surprised any did. And she goes, I'm shocked that only the 2 did. I'm like, I thought none of them would. I thought they would literally throw you all the no tip orders.
Right.
Like, fine, but what I have heard about earn by time, that's the worst thing, is that you are going to put on a lot of miles.
Oh yeah. For sure.
They are going to send you all the longest ones.
Like, so you have to take it, right? You have to.
I think
you can deny. I think
like
it's 2
1
now.
or 2.
It's 2. It's 2 per hour now.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
You do earn by time if you don't like your car.
But to me, saying that you can decline 2, you might as well just say you can decline none.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I mean, like, I'm not taking. If you're in the pattern of like how to decline 100 and take every 100th, of what's 2 going to do, you might as well just take every 1. I don't know. I mean, you're earning by time anyway. But and I just don't trust DoorDash to begin with. So like, their earned by time to me would be, here's the scraps.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, because you know it. You know they're not giving you earned by the time the people the good stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
you know, but thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you, Lou and Mary, and
Thank you
Thanks
for
having
contacting us and getting us back on. It's been a
of
while.
course, yeah, it's been a while, man. And I'm glad we went off on that little like kid rant in the beginning. So if any of you came in late, you might want to go back because somehow we went down a rabbit hole that I don't even know existed.
But we always do. We always
We
go
always
down
do.
this rabbit hole. You know that you know that the outline is never the way the episode's gonna go.
How many bullets did we not talk about?
Yeah.
I actually
A
think we
bunch.
covered all of them.
Oh, okay. Oh, good.
All right, good.
The only one that I didn't get into was the hybrid economy because it would have taken a minute and it would have got into
Yeah.
some of the political stuff that happened last week. But other than that, we covered them all. So,
Oh, good.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
glad.
but thank you guys and thank you everybody. And we'll see you Thursday. And by the way, on Thursday night's roundtable, I don't even know if I should be saying this, but now I have to. Our guest, and I mean, he's been on my show, been on his, lots of collabs and things we've done together, but you guys might not right away pick up on this. Our guest is Pedro, and Pedro's never been on the roundtable
Oh, nice.
Really?
in our existence. So it's kind of funny that we're like a year and a half in.
That's
And
He's
That's
great, though.
great.
he
Well,
actually
we love
he,
Pedro.
he actually did sit in on one. This is where it even gets hotter. He actually did sit in on one roundtable, but it was the one where we had Atlanta Delivers from Europe.
Uh-huh.
And so he sat in. Hannibal couldn't make it that week, so he sat in for Hannibal. So he was one of like our table like regulars, even though he wasn't. And the focus guest was Atlanta.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
So this is going to be Pedro as the guest, which we've never done. I'm kind of
Oh, that's
excited.
great.
Trying to build an
That's
episode
awesome.
around him. So
I'm gonna definitely check it out, and all of you should too. Yes.
smack that like on the way
Yeah.
out, and then go subscribe to these
Press it.
guys. Subscribe to this.
2 channels. Got to
yeah.
watch us, like a lot of us,
Yeah.
and get tired of us, and then unsubscribe because you're like, I can't watch these people anymore. Enough of this guy.
Yeah.
All these
You know.
notifications.
Or just stay subscribed and keep watching because we'll
Yeah,
keep
that's
making
right.
it good. You
Yep.
know,
Views matter
It's not
more.
like we'll just get boring and lame. If
Yeah.
the worse these companies get, we'll get dirty too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not afraid to get dirty about it. So
Speak it how it is.
yeah. But until next time, guys, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you soon. Have a great night.
Right. Adios all.
Night.
It's so funny. The cats are like all over us this entire show. This is the funniest thing.